Yo, it's your boy, Snacks, and we back. You are back. On I was just about to say the name of my old podcast, Under the Influence. You are back with Just Hear Me Out podcast. And we got a good episode for you today. I got an interview later on that I'm going to post, but before we get to that, we are going to talk about a couple things that's been happening in my life, and out here in the world. And that is, last week was my second week back at church, and it's good. I'm liking it. That church was called Salem Baptist Church. It was a church similar to where I came from, where I grew up at, especially the dynamics from white to black. It was predominantly white. They did have some black folks there. It was older. At least the service I went to was like a older service. I laughed because when we got there, the lady greeted us and she went through the rundown. I mean, because it was Easter Sunday, and if you know anything about church, Easter Sunday is like the Super Bowl of church. You know what I'm saying? They practicing. Everybody, all the Pistons is running. Right at the whole machine of church and getting you introduced and getting you welcomed and informed is everything is clicking. You know what I'm saying? And so the lady that greeted us when we got there, gave us the whole spiel. And in her spiel, she was giving the services, which, nowadays church services, you thank God to mega church, I guess, or I say, you can really give it thank God to mega churches, because before mega churches, you was only getting one service. At the introduction, I feel, of mega churches, then you got to have 2 and 3 services on a Sunday morning to appease the masses, so they can all fit in your building. And because of that, I think they had like 3 services on Sunday. We went to like maybe the middle service. And then she went to run them down through the rest of the services they had, which surprisingly enough was just like, typical. I say surprisingly and typical. I guess they both can't exist at the same time, or maybe they can. She said, we have, the 3 Sunday services, then we have 2 Wednesday services. And I was like, 2 Wednesday services? And she said, yeah, we have a senior service in the morning. And that was something that for me, I was like, wait a minute. Yeah, I'm not old enough yet, I don't think, but a service in the morning on Wednesday for the older couple. Oh, and then she said they have for Sunday, they got a contemporary service, more new age for the younger people, and then they got a old fashioned service for people that like that old time religion. And so I thought that was neat, and I could appreciate the things that they were doing. And then I think she said they got small groups or Bible studies that they have on a Friday maybe. And then they have like a drive-through prayer, which was, I'm not going to say silly, because however you can get people to connect with God, I say do it. It's worth it. Even when people would say, you shouldn't try to be so entertaining from the pulpit. But if that's going to help them to connect with God, if I tell some jokes and they get to laugh and then they receive this message, I mean, the whole thing of it is receiving the message of the gospel, right? So however you can get it to them, I say do it. But I was elated to see all of the different avenues and all of the different ways that they were reaching out. And for me at 47, things become heavily about the quality of life. So I'm trying to literally choose a church that's got all the bells and whistles that I like, right? Because for me, church and God is about me finding something outside of myself to anchor me, something to look, to hope in, to hope for, to grapple to that's going to keep me steady. It's going to keep me steady when things get topsy-turvy. I'm not out here trying to argue with people who don't believe in God or believe that Jesus ain't the Son of God, or that ain't my thing. My thing is I'm going to try to follow what God says. I'm going to apply it to my life, and hopefully that causes me to live a life that people look at and want to have. I'm not there yet. I'm sure if you go across my social medias, you'll be like, yo, bro, you definitely need help. But guess what? I definitely do. And for me, I'm turning to the right person, which was, Jesus Christ, the Son of God. But this podcast ain't about me preaching the gospel message. It is definitely about me living my life, though, and speaking how I feel. I wanted a platform, and I think I got something to say. And so that's why I took on the podcast. But this weekend, I did go to church. It was good. It felt good. I say this weekend. Last weekend, I did go to church. It felt good. I was going to go this weekend, but I had the opportunity to have an interview, and so I took advantage of that. And like I said, we'll get into that later on in the show. It's a couple topics I wanted to touch on, things that made news this last week or two, and I want to put my 2 cents in because it's important, and I think that there are things happening in our culture, and I want to speak on it. The first being this whole Gucci Mane and Pooh Shiesty thing. For those who don't know, Gucci Mane and Pooh Shiesty are rappers. Gucci Mane is a rapper from back in the day, maybe 10, 20 years, maybe not even 20 years. Yeah, because, a older rapper. He done his rapping. He hadn't dropped an album in a while that I know of. And Pooh Shiesty is an up and coming. Like he loved, both white, black folk, and he on fire still. Went to jail, came back after jail, dropped the album or dropped the song, was doing better than, Mariah Carey. And everybody know who that is, right? Or the song was doing better. He basically saying he's doing good. But it just so happened that he signed underneath Gucci Mane. And what happened is he wanted out of his contract. And instead of taking the proper channels, he thought he was going to strong arm his way out of the contract. It's typical rap stuff. But you can't. But he winded up. I don't know if Gucci signed the contract when he set him up. They had a meeting, and they literally was trying to strong arm Gucci into letting him out of the contract. It didn't work. The authorities were called, and Pooh Shiesty, as well as his cohorts, were apprehended. And this is sad because this man was out of jail, fresh out of jail, on his way back to where he left, making good music, making good money, messed it all up by trying to keep the code, trying to pull a street move. I'm strong arm myself out of this. But that's not even the story that's making the news. The story that's making the biggest news, from my opinion, or at least the one that I want to speak about, is Gucci Mane telling. They said Gucci Mane told on him. And Gucci Mane is not a snitch, or not supposed to be snitching. He's supposed to be keeping the code of the streets. There's even a video of Gucci Mane where he literally was on video some years back saying, there's one rule I follow, keep it in the streets. Meaning I'm not no snitch. And he literally said, I'm not no snitch. We keeping it in the streets. Well, Gucci had his time in the streets, and Gucci evolved. And a businessman now, trying to conduct business. Things went awry. He informed the authorities. Now the streets are like, you a snitch. You're not keeping the code of the street. But at 46, there ain't no code of the street no more. You got a family, man. You got a business you trying to take care of. There's code of the streets. What? He grew up out of that. Shiesty was keeping the code of the streets. But I think he was going to strong arm his way out of that contract. Same thing Suge tried to do. Same thing Diddy was running. You know what I'm saying? You strong arming people doing things a street way. Nah. Suge was locked up. Diddy locked up. But it ain't about no street mess. But, sheet mess, not street mess. But it's time to let that go. It's a time to keep the code. When you're young, you out there living in the streets. I can see keeping the code of the streets. Gucci not that age no more. I don't blame him. I would have told. I'm trying to do things legit. So listen, they tried to rob me. Go get them. And they did rob him. Yeah. So that's the one thing I wanted to speak on. Is the streets don't care. The ones, keeping the code for what? The streets don't pay. What the streets gonna do for you? What? Keeping the code for what? You know what I'm saying? Serving the streets. What the streets gonna serve you? Keeping the code before what? You know what I'm saying? Just again, Shiesty kept a code, thought he was gonna strong go on his way. Look what happened to him. And then, you know, the best thing I can say, whether he told or not, you know, hey, you doing the things how you supposed to do them, you're gonna lose. And this actually goes to the next story, which is Kanye, right? Kanye, everybody know Kanye. Kanye, very controversial. Kanye will tell you however he feel, whatever's on his mind, he gonna say, we know that. We know that because the things he's saying, he can't be saying to be liked. He definitely can't be saying to be liked. He really feel that way. And he done said so many things that has offended folks so much that recently they had a music festival coming up in Europe called Wireless Fest. And he was scheduled to headline the festival. Well, when certain sponsors to that festival found out, they pulled out. And then when the Europe found out that they was that Kanye was coming, they banned him from coming. He can't come. He too controversial. He's banned for some of the anti-Semitic, because they anti-Semitic things that he was saying, I'm sure. That's why. But he can't come into the country. But it's ironic because once they didn't let him headline, whole festival shut down. So he was the draw, you know, for the people. But for those in power, those with the money, as far as the money to sponsor the whole festival, but, you know, it could be argued he could have sponsored the festival himself out of his own pockets. They ain't even want him. The people at the top ain't want him, but the people wanted him. And it go and the proof of that is he in the same year, this year, he threw a concert in California. $33 million, 2 nights sold out. Again in Mexico, another $12 million, 2 nights sold out. It tells me that you should always be yourself. Be yourself. And not only that, yourself can change. It's okay if one day you feel one way and then you wake up tomorrow and you feel differently about that. It's okay to say, I feel differently. I don't feel the same way as I did before. I used to feel that way. I don't no more. People are going to dislike you. People are going to like you. And you're going to get them both. Not everybody's going to like you, but I guarantee you, not everybody's going to dislike you. Be yourself. And it's okay if you change your mind. It's okay if you change your mind. Those really were the 2 things I wanted to touch on. And I really wanted to push you again to always be yourself. Be yourself and allow people who are like you to find you. You don't even got to go out here trying to find people that are like you. Just be you. Everybody is looking for somebody that makes them feel good. And it's more 9 times out of 10, it's people that just like them. You know, you just be yourself. People will come. Build yourself. They will come. Be yourself and people will come. You don't have to be out here trying to please folks, doing what the people say. The people are fickle. They're changing too, just like you. So today they're going to hate you. Then tomorrow think you made the right decision, or today think you made the right decision, and tomorrow, you know, change their mind. You just be true to who you are. Be happy with yourself. But yeah, I could try to flip that and spin that several different ways, but I'm going to leave it at that. And without further ado, we're going to jump into this interview with Miss Kay Bryant. Hey, you have been listening to Just Hear Me Out podcast with your boy Snacks. If you like it, subscribe. If you see on the YouTube, comment. I'm responding to all comments everywhere that I see them. That is definitely my thing, and it always will be. Thank you for listening. Stay. Because right after this, we're going to go right into this interview with Miss Kay, who has, you know, a life that she's lived and some things that she would like to get off her shoulder. It's your boy Snacks. Deuces. Well, first of all, Miss Kay, thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you for having me.
How you doing this morning?
I'm feeling great. I'm a little famous this morning, so I'm happy about, being here doing this and talking to important people. So.
Yeah, you were the most important one today. That's why we brought you in. We talking to importance.
Hey, we all made the wake up list this morning, so
amen.
Our day will be great.
Amen, amen. Mm-hmm. So we got you in Atlanta.
Okay.
What brought you to Atlanta?
Well, actually, I was here. I have a very good friend, and she was inducted into the sorority that I'm in. So I'm in Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, and she was inducted, and so I came to celebrate her. And so it was kind of a 2-day type of event here.
So you went to college. So you went to What did you go for?
I went to college for initially fashion design.
Fashion design.
Yeah, then it morphed into business and all of that kind of stuff. Yeah.
So how did you get into fashion design?
When I was a kid, just loved to dress up and put stuff together, and so I just wanted to, design clothes and all of that. And that idea lasted for 1 year.
It only lasted for 1 year.
Yeah, I came to Atlanta, went to school here. It was called Border Fashion College, and it's now closed. After being here in Atlanta for that 1 year, I was like, okay, it's time to go back home. So
yeah,
decided to do something different.
You came to Atlanta.
Yeah, I did.
I mean,
so this was the fashion capital at that time when I graduated.
And you came from
Detroit,
Michigan.
Yeah, born and raised.
So that's from like one big city to another one.
It is, but it's still a big difference.
Yeah,
it's still a big difference. So born and raised there, had never lived anywhere else.
Yeah,
and so coming here on my own, I was 19. I didn't have to ask my mom, could I go on the porch, all that kind of good stuff. So
yeah,
yep.
And so it lasted a year. So how was it there? You said you couldn't ask your mom if you could go on the porch. Was this a thing for you growing up?
Well, my mom was very stern. I come from a single parent home, and so I'm the oldest of 5. And my mother was just very stern. She didn't allow us to really go hang out and do things that we thought were just normal stuff. Go on the porch, go to the corner. We always had to be within eyesight of her. So when I came to Atlanta for college, I was like, I can go outside and do what I want to. Kind of be sort of grown a little bit. I got to ask my mom; she'll never know. So yeah, it's kind of that kind of thing.
Okay, so look, did y'all grow up Christian? I mean, how did this happen that your mom was like, this, you can't get out of my eyesight?
Well, definitely, we were Christians.
Yeah.
But my mother just ran a tight ship. She worked.
Yeah.
And my responsibility was to take care of my siblings, make sure the house was cleaned, and do all of the regular things. But going outside, hanging out all night, and we did it occasionally. 4th of July, Memorial Day,
right.
Little stuff like that when people came over. But my mother ran her house with iron sticks. I would just say it that way.
Yeah.
She was very, very strict on all of us, especially me and my sister. We were the only girls. So I have 3 brothers.
And so that would be wide open for you then to move from Detroit to Atlanta. And then if I think about it right, you were here then during Freaknik. And so it was crazy.
It was a lot going on.
And you were able, I mean, how was that for you? How did were you influenced by any of the things going on in Atlanta at the time?
No, actually, I think for me, the excitement was kind of being on my own. It wasn't just like the Freaknik, and I disclaimer, I never went. Never participated, never went. Let's put that out there. Heard of it, but wasn't my speed of things,
yes, of course.
So I just came to go to college and, wanted to kind of have that little experience and stuff like that. But no, it was just the fact that I didn't have to ask my mom, could I go to the store? I can eat what I want to. I had to clean up as much and just little things like that.
So no drinking, no going out, none of that?
Well, no, actually I did not drink because that wasn't something that I desired to do because of how my family dynamics were. I had uncles that were alcoholics, things like that. Yeah. Uncles that were on drugs. So it was never appealing to me. Those were not things I wanted to do. Yeah. I just wanted to have a boyfriend. Get somebody. I mean, to be frank with it.
Wait, so moms didn't let you have a boyfriend either?
No. What? My first date was when I was 21, I think. Yeah, and I had been in the Army for 2 years.
Listen, wait, you had been what for 2 years?
I had been in the Army 2 years.
So wait, so you went to the military? Okay, and you did say that in the beginning. Yeah. Now, let me go back to say I do relate to you on some of these things. I grew up Christian as well. I didn't start drinking, though, till I was in my 30s. And it wasn't till after I had moved several times. As far as relationships, I didn't have no boyfriend. Oh, no boyfriend. It's crazy. I'm in Atlanta. Golly, you better watch my mouth. I didn't have no girlfriend until I was 22. Yeah, and then we got married. So, okay, and so you didn't have your first boyfriend until you was 21, 22?
Yeah, I didn't have one here. I mean, went out, we hung out, things like that, but not, the whole relationship thing, all of that stuff, no. But to answer your question, coming here, it wasn't to do things that were, the drinking and smoking weed, all that was never appealing to me. It was just the fact of being on my own. I just want to kind of do stuff like that.
Okay.
And coming to college, I mean, I went to, we hung around Morehouse and Spelman and, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You want to be in those areas because I didn't go to that particular school. But it was just fun. Me and my girlfriends will go over there and hang out. Yeah. Just stuff like that. Going
that's
to
what
games.
Is. I said that's what the populace is.
Absolutely. Basketball games, football games, stuff like that.
Yeah. So you said you came and you were here for a year and then you left. What happened?
I went back home. I started off great in college and then, towards the end, my grades kind of declined, and so it was just time to, when summer came around, I didn't stay for the summer. I went back home and I just knew that I did not want to come back to college. To be perfectly honest with you, I didn't really want to go, but my mother said, you're going to college. And so I went to college.
Is that why you went in the first place? Did you choose fashion because you was like, well, my mom wants me to go, so I have to choose something?
Well,
so
I always liked fashion. Right. I liked fashion. The military was something I never taught to her, but I knew that's what I wanted to do. So let's say that I thought about college. I won't say I just didn't want to do it, but that was my only option. Yeah. And so, that's how I ended up going to, coming up here to Atlanta to go to school. And I came here because the field that I wanted to go into, fashion design, they didn't have schools like that in my area at the time.
In Detroit?
Yeah, Detroit. It wasn't only fashion schools.
Now, I will say, and this is an offshoot of, I had, for the last month, well, not last month, the last year, I have been hooked on gangster, mobster YouTubes where I'm watching about gangs. And I could have swore I seen some where some of these cats was from Detroit. And when they would talk about how they was decked out, I mean, they was furred up.
Furs, gators, all the things,
But they ain't had no fashion schools in Detroit.
Just got a whole bunch of beauty supply stores where you can go and buy your fur coat.
Oh Lord, dude, that's right here in Atlanta. That's and wigs.
I mean, but dudes just, I mean, you dress, but for education and stuff like that, it wasn't no schools for that. When I looked up, border came up. I told my mom, I said it's in Atlanta.
So, are you afraid to move?
No, I wasn't at all.
So you was ready, even though she had.
Yeah, and I wasn't anxious to. I wasn't like trying to deliberately, like just move out the house. I just knew I had to do something, But I wasn't afraid or anything like that. When I got there, I was like, man. When she dropped me off, I was like, good. Now I go outside.
Free like freedom.
Yeah. She gave me my little $100 allowance at the time.
Yeah,
that was like $1,000 now.
Yeah,
I mean, I had my $100 and I budgeted.
Nah,
I made it work.
Oh, so you didn't work?
Not at first. Couple of months in, the money that she was giving me, it just wasn't really. I wanted to do some things, buy my own clothes, stuff like that. So I ended up getting a job at McDonald's.
Yeah, that's where everybody get a job.
I went to McDonald's and did that for a couple of months, and that was it.
Where you was at? What you was on?
I was a fry person.
You was in the fries?
Dumping the fries, I was like, this can't be the life. But I was 18 years old, so that's what I did.
Yeah.
Okay, so checks in.
You went back home, and then you just jumped right to, I went to the military.
Well, actually, I got back home around June. A couple of weeks later, I went right to the recruiting station. That's what I wanted to do. I had no intentions on coming back. Did you college? So
did you already know this is where you wanted to go when you left Atlanta to go back home?
No, it wasn't. But when I got back, I knew that the college thing just wasn't gonna work for me at that time. But I needed to do something. So I was like, I remember when a recruiter came to my high school, and I still had his card, and I went up there and talked to him. But I snuck to go talk to him. I didn't tell my mom.
Right, right. Why? Why didn't you tell her?
I didn't know how to tell her. My mom, she never, because of how we were raised, my mother never made me feel like I could come to her and be transparent and tell her that I wanted to, go to the military. And then her thoughts, I mentioned it one time. She's like, no, girls, you don't need to be going to the army because, girls, and back then it was just not a very popular thing to do. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you went and talked to the recruiter. I think you said you wanted to go. Like was a desire, almost like the fashion. Was that the same type of desire?
After he told me I could make money and all of that stuff, I was like, man, I could get a little income in. Yeah.
That's a step up from McDonald's.
I was excited. It is. It is.
Yeah.
And you get benefits, so.
Yeah.
It was cool.
And so it seems, so you left home for freedom, and then you went back home for a little bit, and then went to the military. It sounds like, your mom, you had to ask for permission to get on the porch. I mean, but that's the same type of treatment you're gonna get in the military, and you wouldn't.
But I was still an adult. I could still kind of. It was just, it was still just kind of leaving the nest, know. And I didn't. And growing up in Detroit, great city, love my city. Will never, deny that that's where I'm from. But for me, I didn't want to. I didn't want to be a statistic. All of my neighbors, the girls, everybody was either pregnant, dropping out of school, and working at McDonald's. Yeah. I wanted more for myself than that. I wanted to have, a good life and all of that stuff, and you need the money to do that. So I just wanted to do something with myself. Yeah. And so the Army was the way for me to do that. Yeah. So I joined. Okay. I told my mom I was going to the reserves, and I knew that I was not going to the reserves. So that's how I broke it to her, because everybody knew the reserves was the weekend thing. Yeah. So I actually joined on Thursday. I got inducted on Thursday, and I was leaving Monday. Back then, you was out the house. They'll get you out of there in about 4 or 5 days.
Yeah, I think because even whenever I was thinking about it, they was like, yeah, we can have you out of here.
Yeah, I literally enrolled. I got inducted on that Thursday. Friday, I went and bought me some little items. And Monday, everybody was sitting on the couch. A recruiter came pick me up at 5 o'clock in the morning. That's how it was.
What? So, okay, so when did you have to tell mom the gig is up?
I told her.
Because either way, you got to go for 6 weeks. You got to go for an extended period of time anyway, right?
Basic training, yeah. I was gone.
So whether you were going to do the weekends or the full time, you still got to go through basic training. So when did you have to tell her?
I told her. I said, Mom, I ain't enlisted in the Army. I'm going to the reserves. Yeah. I don't remember her exact response, but I think my mother came to the realization that I was 19 and I was going to do something. So it wasn't anything that she could prevent me from doing. And she didn't seem, not happy about it. It was just I was leaving home again. And she, being in the military, you worry about it and all of that kind of stuff. So, yeah. I just told her. The morning that I left, everybody, all my family members was sitting on the couch. I hugged all of them and kissed my mom and had my backpack, and I was out.
You was out the door.
Out the door.
What did you do in the military?
I was in logistics. I started off as a forklift driver. That was my job. Driving forklifts. And I didn't even have did I have a license? Yeah, I had a license, but driving forklifts, that's what I did. They said, this is a great job. And I said, okay. When I got there, I was driving forklifts. Yeah. I said, okay, but that's what I started off doing. Yeah.
How did you like it?
It was okay. It wasn't, for me, I was not a person that complained. I understood and learned, work ethics and things like that, because I used to work over the summer when I lived at home. So, I mean, it was okay. It was cool. Made friends, worked in the warehouse. We played on the forklift. We used to race, just do crazy stuff that teenagers do. Yep, so that's what I did.
Okay. And so, I'm trying to think about, what was you told me. You told me you could be free and you could make some money more than what you was making at McDonald's, and that was the driving force to get out of the house still.
Yeah, I wanted to have a career. I wanted to have a career.
Yeah. Well, then how did you switch from forklift driving? Because, I mean, it's going to be
that's what I started off doing.
Driver.
Well, no, I didn't.
Which ain't nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing wrong with that, but that was just my job. But the great thing about the military is that it allows you to kind of get into different things, different career fields, and you can get certified in different skill sets, things like that. So that's just kind of what I started off doing. And as I got promoted, I was able to do other things. But right now that field morphed into, it was called logistics. So just kind of, deal with transportation, supply and demand, just little things like that.
Yeah. And how long were you enlisted?
23 years, 2 months and 5 days exactly. 23 years, 2 months, and 5 days.
This either says you loved it or you was ready to get out, because you got this down to a pass.
That's what my paperwork said, 23 years. It sure did, 2 months and 5 days. Yeah.
And so what did you do once you left there? Because now you good at logistics.
Yeah, I retired, and I was all excited about getting a job, and I could not get a job.
Is it bad to want to know how old? Okay, so I'm not asking how old you are now. So I'm treading, and I
don't have a problem telling how old I am.
Okay, so how old were you when you left?
When I enlisted in the Army when I was 19, and I retired, I was 42.
Dang,
yeah. Now young. I am 55 now.
Yeah, it's still young.
Yeah.
But 42, you done retired. See, that's the dream in retro. I wish I would have done something. I could have been retired at 40.
I retired. Yeah, typically I would have retired at 20 years for me would have been 19, but I stayed 3 extra.
Yeah. Why did you stay the 3 extra?
Because I wanted my retirement to be a certain amount of money. So staying additional years after 20 years gets you a little bit more money in your check. So.
I see. I didn't know that part.
Yeah. I wanted to make sure that I can pay for basic things. A house, car, and take care of my kids.
For your retirement check.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to do. So that was my plan. So I looked at it and I said, well, I need to stay this amount of time to cover those basic things in life.
Kudos.
And if I wanted to, do something different, then I would get a job for that. But I wanted to make sure that my retirement will cover those basic things.
Well, kudos to you for thinking ahead enough to set yourself, because that's beautiful to retire with enough in your retirement to take care of the basics. Now I don't have to do nothing.
Yeah, and right at 18 years, I was married when I was in the military. I was married and I got divorced.
Yeah,
got divorced, and
life.
so it happens. And so I had to regroup. Yeah, we went from 2 incomes to 1 income. So my long story short, plan on getting out of 20 years, but I stayed those extra 3 for one to get my retirement rate up to a certain amount, and then I wanted to make sure that before I was discharged, I had things in place, so.
Oh, wait, so let me ask you this, because I'm wondering, your divorce, did it leave you unable in some ways? Because I'm wondering if your planning to say I'm finna stay to make sure I can cover basics was taught to you by the upheaval or the break in your relationship.
No,
Do you understand what I'm getting at?
It did not. It was. It wasn't expected, because we had talked about the whole retirement where we were going to do all of those things, and unfortunately, we just didn't get to that point. We got divorced, 18, and so for me, I always look at 3-5 years down the road, and that's how I live my life. So I'm a planner, so I'll plan things, and so for me, I didn't really want to stay the extra 3 years, but I've always been the type of person where I believe that you have to make sacrifices. And if I have to do the hard jobs to get me to the easier place, then that's what I do. And my whole career, the Army was like that. I did all the jobs that people didn't want to do. Oh. And the result of that was that I got promoted. So I reached the highest level of getting promoted in the military.
Yeah.
So, I did. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, congratulations. And thank you for your service.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay, so you leave after 23 years. Your logistics. What do you do?
Actually, I had a great job. I had started working. I retired in Texas, El Paso, Texas, and I started working and got a job, and it was a temporary job. And out of 25 people, I was selected for the.
Wait! I'm sorry to interrupt you. Let me come back.
Okay.
What do you like doing? Because if after once you finish at 23 and you can retire, of course you're gonna at 40, because that's what I would have done too. You realize that. Some people I'm gonna be good if I just stay working. I just want to choose whatever it is I do. I don't have no desire to sit at home all day long.
I did not. That was not my plan.
Right.
That was not my plan.
So then, what do you do for hobbies? I mean, because at this point, once you at 40 something, you're like, I really could do whatever it is I want, and I could work. So what was it that you was like?
I knew that I was still going to work. Just need extra money. Yeah. Needed something outside of my retirement. And
this is for the hobbies.
Yeah. So, how would I explain this? So, my income went from full time to part time. So, I was getting half of what I was making in the Army. My retirement became half of that, but I still had the same amount of bills. So I was like, okay, what am I doing? And I wanted to do something on my own, but long story short is I worked for the Department of Defense, had a job, all of that kind of stuff, and it wasn't giving me the satisfaction that I wanted, so I decided to do the big E, become an entrepreneur.
Yeah?
Yeah, I started that. Yeah, I wanted to do my own business.
Okay.
Yeah.
But where in the military have you traveled? And I'm sorry to go back to the military.
Oh, no.
We done left it. We done retired, and I'm going back. We going back. We re-enlisting.
First duty station was Alaska. Went to North Carolina for a brag at the time. Been to Korea. I was an Army recruiter for 7 years, and I was fortunate enough to go back home to my home, Detroit, Michigan, and I was recruiting them people up there. Yeah,
it's cold in the deep.
But you put a jacket on, a hat, you good to go. You go do what you got to do.
I love cold weather more than the hot, so that ain't no problem with me.
Yeah, so I did that. So Alaska, Korea for a brag. I was in Detroit, Texas, and back to North Carolina. So I didn't travel a whole lot of places, but the places that I was at, I was there for an extended amount of time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So doing this, how was it getting out and seeing more than just Detroit? I mean, you did see Atlanta for like a year, but then you was like, nah, that's not for me. But then when you were in the military, you kind of moved around a little more.
Yeah, you did. I enjoyed the moving around and traveling and things like that. I enjoyed it because I think had I not did that, I would have never left Detroit. Yeah. I would still be in Detroit right now. So it was an opportunity to be kind of travel and do some things and learn how to just kind of figure things out in new places. So that was exciting. Okay. And so I had a family, and so that's what we did. My kids probably have been to. My oldest daughter said she went to 12 different schools.
What?
And I was like, really? Yeah, 12 different schools.
Wait. But she was in the military.
Yeah, every time we moved, your kids move with you. They have to go to different schools and stuff like that.
Right, and that's okay. I'm sorry, I was outside of the military. Yeah. So you said after you retired, you decided to the big E on becoming an entrepreneur. Now, what does that look like?
Well, it's different. It's very different.
What did you choose to do?
Started off as an event planner, wedding planner, and I had a store in Fayetteville. I used to rent out linens and different decorations. I did things of that nature. So I was a prominent decorator in Fayetteville, but it was physically exhausting. Yeah. And being 25 times 2 was kind of getting difficult. Yeah. So it was a little hard being 25 times 2. So I was like back hurting, all of this kind of stuff, and the Army had wore me out,
Because you were choosing all the hard jobs.
Yeah. Oh, and then one more place that I did not mention was I did a tour in Iraq. Yeah,
you did a tour in Iraq?
I went over there.
You was in there doing Desert Storm?
I was over there. Not Desert Storm, Operation Iraqi Freedom.
Operation Iraqi Freedom.
Yeah, I went over there. Yeah, went over there and did the things over there and came back, all of that kind of good stuff. But let me see. What was the last thing I was talking about before that? Entrepreneurship. So I had a business. Party supplies. Yeah, so I did that for 7 years. Yeah, 25 times 2.
We can't do this.
Yeah, back started hurting, knees hurting, couldn't, all the things. And so I decided to sell my business, and I sold it in 2023.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then I ventured into what I do now. Is that I am in the travel industry.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm in network marketing in the travel industry.
Yeah? Now tell me, how do you like that?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. A friend of mine's customer came into my store and she started talking to me. And so I was like, this is pretty cool because I can do book travel for client honeymoons because that was my niche. I was a wedding planner. So she talked to me about it, sold the dream to me. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. But I didn't enroll with her. I said, give me 6 months because I was planning my wedding, with my current husband. So was doing all of that kind of stuff. And
how did y'all meet? If you don't mind me asking,
how did we meet? I went to some event and a friend of mine's introduced us, and we were just sitting there talking, and I think I smiled, and he liked my hair at the time. It didn't look like this, and it was just kind of went from there. Is he ex-military? No, he is absolutely not. No military whatsoever. Nope, he's just a Southern, hard-working man. He was in the construction, and he's actually in the process of retiring himself.
Where he from?
Wilmington, North Carolina.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, somebody came into the store, and then they started. They was telling you about the business.
Yeah, she did.
And you bid.
Yeah, I said this is really cool. I said, but couldn't do it right now. Couldn't put nothing else on my plate.
Yep.
So I told her I was about to get married, all the things, and I said, well, after I get married, I'll look into it. And I kept my word, and I did. And as soon as I looked into it, I went ahead and I signed up, and it's been 4 years.
Yeah.
In 4 years, yeah.
And you said it's travel and logistics?
Well, it's network marketing. Network marketing, yeah. So I essentially help people start their own travel business, which is great. I enjoy doing that.
Come on.
Yeah, I do. It's something about helping people find their way to financial freedom, time freedom, all of that kind of stuff. We need it. Yeah, we need it. We need it. You know, we work these jobs going up there and we work to pay bills, and we've got to, you know, for me, I had to change my mindset. I just wanted more.
Right.
Working to pay bills, and I wasn't getting any rewards out of that. So
and so you know what? And the funny thing is, as a podcaster, I mean, you know, it has been my desire to be able to travel and do it. And so, you know, then comes the logistics of how you would do it. You know what I'm saying? Because that could get expensive traveling just to do a podcast. I mean, but I would definitely like to talk to people from around the world and see how they live. You know, see what their tenets on life is. But yeah, how do I mean, you know, once she showed you how to do it, did you then travel, or did you travel before then? And
not really. You know, I did a cruise a year or something like that. Yeah. And the travel sounded exciting, but she talked to me about how I can really make money in that. And that's what drew my attention, the financial aspect of it. And so when she talked to me about that and how that works, I was like, okay, I can do this. And then the fact of being able to work remotely from a cell phone, from a home, you know, I can travel. I don't have to be sitting at a desk all day. That was dope to me. You know, even having that business, I had to be there at 9 a.m, couldn't leave at 5, you know, so all of that, even with my own business. So this right here was ideal for me. Yeah. So I, 2 years before I sold my business, I started, and it's been great. It's really been great. Yeah, I love it.
So what does it look like then? Because I guess you're saying you train travel agents?
Well, I don't train them. So what I do is I help people. You just say you know, if you talk to me about the opportunity, I help people start their business. You know, start their travel business, and once they become what we call a travel agent, you know, they partner with us. Then there's, you know, different trainings, and you just kind of learn the process, just like with any other job or profession that you get into. Okay. So that's one side of it. And the other side is the fun part. That's the travel, you know. So for me, I get paid on what I'm doing anyway. Get paid on what people are doing, because I don't care what is going on. People are outside. The airports are not empty. They're never empty, especially ATL airports, never empty. Definitely. And the freeways have 5 lanes, and everybody's trying to go somewhere. They are. Yeah, so people are outside, and so why not get paid to help them be outside? So that's how I look at it. Yeah, I mean,
so how does that work? And if I could travel and bring other people with me, because to me, you know, the times I have traveled, the sauce is in a group. You know, you could go by yourself, but then that's just your experience. It's definitely a better experience when you can watch other people experience it with you.
Absolutely.
How does one do that then? Because I would definitely like to take a group of people and go to these places. And then, you know, if I couldn't interview the locals, then I just interview somebody in the group. How you feel? How you like it out here? How is it different?
That's what's so awesome about it, is because you can find your niche. Yeah. So for me, because I was a wedding coordinator, wedding planner, my niche was honeymoons, which is only couples and things like that. So, but when I did my first group cruise, my mind I shifted.
How was it? Like, why? What's going on?
Yeah, it was pretty dope. Sister-in-law asked me to plan a cruise for her. She was retiring. So it was supposed to be 20 people. Ended up being 50-some people. I was like, okay, I can do it. And I went on the cruise. There you go. So I went on the cruise as well. You know, we celebrated. We had a ball. Yeah. And then I got to meet people. And people started asking me, like, how do you do this? Or what do you do? And I told them. And it just kind of spiraled from there. I just kind of taught people. People see, you know, what I do, and I'm very transparent about, you know, my business and things like that. But I get to kind of have fun with it too as well. So for me, when I talk to people and they see the vision, and they see it for themselves, and that, honestly, that's very important to me. So if I'm saying something to you, I want you to be able to see yourself in that place and see how I can help you and all of those things. Along with it being fun and all of that, it's real important for me, for people to kind of find their way, understand their why, things like that.
Yeah.
Because once again, we are trained to, get up and go to work. And I'm not advocating and promoting quit your job.
Right.
This is a part-time. Even though I'm retired, I still just do it part-time. I don't do it full-time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can work at your own pace, your own hours. I mean, how cool is that?
Yeah. So what is the benefits then for you personally, but outside of just the income, the extra money?
Again, being able to help families, help people kind of start their own business. It's exciting for me. I'm currently in school now for business, and so I like to kind of
furthering your education.
Hey, I'm just trying to be smart.
So I guess I'm asking you, but as a travel agent, what are the benefits besides just
the financial part of it?
Yes.
There's so many different aspects. Being able to how would I say this? Being able to provide something for people, you can just have a different niche. You can just.
So I mean, when I say financial, I do actually maybe still mean financial. I just mean besides a check that I'm fixing to get for coordinating these people's trips. What is it? Is there any travel benefits that I get or points or such that I got? And I say this because my son came on the podcast. I had my son on the podcast just about 3-4 weeks ago, and he was telling me about how he has this card. It's a credit card, but he's worked up enough points to where he'll go and stay in a hotel in the middle of town and be way up at the top with all kind of free food and free just to be able to stay free. And so I'm wondering, are there benefits such as these that I get from
not necessarily? What are the biggest benefits with being a travel agent is that for me getting the certifications. There's a ton of certifications. For instance, I'm currently working on being a luxury travel advisor. That's a certification that I can get and I don't have to pay for it. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
All of that. So getting those different certifications, you get to put it on your website, all of that kind of stuff. It just kind of, it comes with, comes with being in the business. And then networking. Networking, I love to meet different people. And this, because I am a kind of like an introvert, so I really am. But when I talk about my business, I get to meet new people, so networking is real big for me.
Okay, and networking would be, that would be because I'm going to meet new people that I could then bring on the podcast. The podcast needs food. The podcast
that part right there. But yeah, I so enjoy it. I do. My husband's like, I was talking to people. Yeah, I like to talk to people. Yeah. Yeah, so that's what I do.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
So from fashion to the military to what was in it between the military wedding planning.
Wedding planner.
With the entrepreneurship. From military to entrepreneur. What's next for you? What do you say? You're going to school for business? How long you got left?
Hopefully 90 days. I'm working on my doctor's degree in leadership, entrepreneurship, rather. And that's it. As far as education, that's the pinnacle for me. So I'll hopefully be done with that in about 90 days. I'll be able to graduate in August. So I'm excited about that. But ideally, it's continuing my business to, help people start their own business. And then one of my goals within the business is to become a travel facilitator to where I can teach the classes about how the company works and how the travel side works, things like that. So they have certifications for that. So
Okay.
I'm excited about that too.
Yeah.
So it's just so much that you can do. So for me, I used to kind of, dabble in different things. I had this business and trying to do this, but it's too much. Yeah. For me, I've learned that.
You're trying to be retired.
Yeah, I've learned that being successful, sometimes we can do so much and overload. Yeah. So I've learned to have a balance, and what I do now allows me that balance. I'm not dabbling in a whole bunch of things. I'm focused on making this one thing work, and just kind of manifesting from there.
So what was it that you would like to tell people thinking about getting into that industry?
Talk to me.
For sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
But when you think about everybody's going to retire at some point in time. Even whether it's from the military, people are typically in their 40s, early 50s, or even if you are not in the military. I think the way the economy is nowadays, you need a second source of income. You have to have a plan B, a side hustle, or whatever you want to call it, but you have to do something different, and you need to plan for that. And so the great thing about this opportunity, it allows you to be able to do those type of things, to kind of have a plan, set money to the side. That's what it's done for me. As a matter of fact, my first year, I paid my truck off.
Yeah. Nice.
Paid my truck off, yeah.
Nice.
I never owned a vehicle. Never owned a vehicle.
Yeah.
I was doing very well in this business at the time, and I was able to pay my truck off.
Nice. Yeah. And this is coming from an introvert.
It is.
So it was easy enough for you to do as an introvert. You was able to pay your truck off.
I did that. Yeah.
You did.
So it's been pretty good. Yeah. My husband's in the business as well. Yeah. So he does it as also. So he likes it.
Yeah. Okay.
So we do pretty good.
Would if people wanted to get in contact with you well, let me go back to say, I do want to say that I do like that you said you can do it part time. I mean, because my day job, I literally sit in the truck all day long, and I be looking for things that I can do to make extra money, and so
this opportunity will allow you to do that. All you need is your cell phone. Yeah. You could be doing a certification or looking up some travel for somebody. When my husband and I were driving up here this weekend from Alabama, I had a client that called me, a customer, I should just say it was a client, called me, a previous client that I had, and wanted me to book a trip for her. And I booked a 5-day group cruise for 37 people. And I did it while we were driving up here.
Like the whole thing?
Yeah, the whole thing. And when I leave out of here, I'm going to go confirm some cabins for that particular cruise. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, nice. So how does one get clients?
Well,
how did you get them?
This is a relationship business, you know, and so it's word of mouth.
You know what?
It is. It's word of mouth. I talk about what I do. I do have it on my social media. Everybody knows I'm a travel agent, things of that nature. And I present everything that I do. Let me see. Yeah, it's on my social media, and just kind of word of mouth and talk about it. That's it. Yeah. My husband tells everybody, hey, talk to my wife, you want to go on a trip. And everybody's trying to do something. It's
interesting that when you start off as a kid, and I didn't learn this in the biggest way until I moved here to Atlanta. But that everything really does circle around networking. And who you know when it comes to, because when you're a kid, to get a job at a McDonald's, you're not gonna do nothing but go turn in an application.
That's it.
I mean, you still gonna have to talk to them. You know, they're gonna do the little interview. But then the more, and that's actually the bigger and better jobs you get, the more it depends on who you know and your ability to communicate. Because it's gonna have less to do with your application and more to do with networking. And so this is definitely the idea of that is who you know.
I think application is just a formality.
Yeah.
You know, and it is. Networking is in every aspect of life. It just is, you know. Yeah. For me, when I say I'm an introvert, I am a pretty quiet person. So I'm not the life of the party type of person. Yeah. Pretty quiet and chill, things like that. But when it's time for me to work, or I've always been very focused on those type of things. But what I do now, travel allows me just to be really who I am. Just be comfortable.
That's what I was going to say.
I will be in Walmart in the long line when they only got 2 cashiers up there, and I'll just start talking to somebody. Yeah. Yeah, and it morphs into, when the last time you been on vacation? I see you buying that outfit over there. Yeah. And we talking. Next thing you know, I'm booking that trip.
This is your passion.
That's what I do. Yeah.
This is your passion.
So that's how I get customers. I mean, I just talk to people. People get to know me. I get referrals all the time because I provide excellent service. I really do. Yeah.
What? Come on, talk that big talk.
I do, because that's what people want. People will have a travel agent for a reason.
Yeah.
Think about it. It's a luxury to have. Because they don't want to do it.
No, and the times I've traveled has been when I went overseas. Anytime I went overseas, it was because of a travel agent. And the thing that it makes it so easy is all I say is, hey, I want to go. That's if the travel agent themselves is not already booking stuff and saying, hey, we going here. I'm looking for some folks that want to jump in. But yeah, and I just say, hey, I want to go. They do the flights. They do the hotels. They do all the transportation. They do the excursions for you. They tell you where you're going to eat at and what's the good spots. They did all the research. And all you do is show up. And I promise you, every time I've taken that route, it has been amazing. I mean, and it's interesting, the dynamic, because sometimes when the place may not be the best, you still with people that you would enjoy it with. So even if the food is not good, you still got people that you've been traveling with, and there's still some kind of new and fresh camaraderie, because we've been to talk about how this food is this grease food ain't nothing. I'd rather some American gyros before I'm gonna eat this.
Anybody got some chicken? Yeah, there you go.
And then the jokes begin to fly, and you still feel the fun in the trip, which goes back to what we said at the beginning. It's always best with the group.
And I follow up with my people. I do. When they get back, I'm like, hey, how did it go? Yeah. And I'll say, hey, go on my Facebook page and, kind of talk about it. Send me photos. They'll send me pictures, little things like that. Yeah. And sometimes I'll just kind of interview them and talk to them and just say, hey, what did you think? What did you like? And guess what? They're going to call me again the following year. Yep. And that's kind of what happens. So I build my community that way. Yeah. Yeah. So I believe in providing great service because that's what I want. If I'm paying you for something, or it's just, and when you're in that industry, you treat people with a level of professionalism, and that's real important. Yeah. It is. Yeah.
I like that this is your passion. It makes it easy. The network is easy when you actually work within what you like. So, and this is what, again, for me, the podcast is for, is to challenge people to find a way to make, to provide for yourself in the things that you actually like, because then the work comes easy, it comes natural. You're in the grocery store, or you're in the Walmart, and you look and you see some new outfits, you automatically finna say, you finna go on a trip. I see them new outfits you got right there. Listen, where y'all about to go? Yeah. And then next thing you know, you in the door.
All kind of stuff. So I try to use every opportunity to talk to somebody. I just do. Because that's how, that's how my business grows. That's how I meet my own personal goals, for myself. Yeah. So, with doing that part, and then if I have a repeat customer, I'll lead into, you should be doing this yourself. And it goes from there, and they start their own business.
Nice.
With most people. Yeah.
Nice. So then what would you say, what do you think that with your life you want to put out there, that if you could stand on a mountaintop and encourage people, hey, the biggest message I got that I've learned in my life is this, and this is what I would encourage you to do, what would that be?
My youngest daughter told me one time, she said, Mom, YOLO. I didn't know what that meant. I'm like, what is YOLO? YOLO. She said, you only live once. And she was 18 at the time when she told me that. She's 26 now. And when she told me that phrase resonated with me, and it made me think about life differently. For one, we're not promised tomorrow. Two, we have to get to a point in life to where you start to reap the benefits of everything that you sow into your life. We work. There's got to be something more than that. So for me, you have to purpose to do the things that you really want to do. And make a way for that, because we do all the things to live life, but we don't do the things that kind of make us happy. So that those type of things are just really important. So I would just say to people, don't be afraid to do something different. Don't be afraid to do those things that's in the back of your head. Sometimes you could talk yourself out of doing it because you don't think that you can. So I just think that if an opportunity is presented to you, listen to it, look at it, and just kind of go from there. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
You only live once.
That's all the right question. You only live once. That's it.
Well, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate it. Oh, so do you want to put your socials, or how can people get in contact with you if they want to learn how to?
Okay, well, it's Kay Bryant. I am on social media. I'm on Facebook. Well, let me say my whole name, my government name. Kendra D. Bryant. I'm on the book Facebook. Okay, I'm on that. Yeah, I'm on that. So, Okay, I'm gonna tell my age because I'm 25 times 2. I'm trying to do the tick, all of that kind of. I'm trying to get up on that.
It becomes a lot.
Yeah, but here's the easier way. I will put my phone number out there. It is 915-740-4580, and then my email is Jordans with an S travelbusiness@gmail.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the number I got.
Yes, it is. That's the number.
I'm only saying it so I can.
That's it. 915-740-4580. That's my business number. So give me a call.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for coming, Miss Bryant.
Cool beans.
Yes, ma'am.
This was awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Now, hopefully, I can glean from some of your fame.
Well, hey, I'm just trying to get in the, I'm just trying to get with these important people here. So I'm sitting in the chair and, hey. Yeah, so this has been awesome. So thank you so much for the opportunity to kind of sit here and be transparent. So,
All right. Thanks for coming. And
call me back.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, I'm going to call you back so you can train me on how to do it.
Thank you so much. And all the best with your podcast.
Yes, and all the best with your travel. Your I don't even know how to your travel coaching.
Hey, that's it. I'll see you in the Sky Miles Lounge.
Hey,
that's it.
For sure. All right.
Just Hear Me Out podcast with Snacks and Big Flav. Not a tongue bitten and always worth a listen. Weekly on your favorite platform.